Welcome to the 8 Minute Rule podcast, where actual physical therapists share clinical pearls designed to create conversation around what's getting results in the clinic. No fluff, no Medicare stopwatch, only quality content. Welcome back to the 8 Minute Rule. We got Drew and Mark here with me, and what we're going to talk about today is wellness, but not so much for the patients, but actually for the PTs personally. So these guys don't know 100% what we're going to talk about, so this will be fun and a little bit off the cuff. We'll start off with Drew. So Drew, what would you say that your wellness recipe for success looks like on a week-to-week basis?
The recipe for success. Well, I think the main thing to keep in mind for me is the same thing I tell my patients of: you need to take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. When you come into the clinic and you're frazzled, you're tired, you're fatigued, you just can't really focus, that makes a day go long. And also, like, that's when you talk about burnout and not providing great care, like, it's really hard to do that when you're not taking care of yourself. So I think the biggest thing for me in the last few years really has been tracking sleep more than anything. We have a new mattress that tracks it, and it does a phenomenal job at, like, looking if I get multiple nights that I'm not getting great sleep. I know, I need to focus on this, make sure I'm more focused on it. But then again, personally for me, getting up early, because I have a lot of kids and I don't really get a lot of time in the evening to myself to do my own physical activity. It's getting up early and getting my body moving and getting ready for the day. So I usually have, like, it's kind of a joke that some people say it's all about the 5 to 9 before the 9 to 5. And I mean, it's somewhat true for me, and making sure that I'm up and moving and ready for the day and getting my personal wellness in that I need to, from exercise to, like, mindfulness, meditation, journaling, or prayer, whatever that is for you. But that's my recipe for being ready for the day.
I love it. So Drew's recommending to get a smart mattress, and I'd say big takeaway there. I like it.
The 8 Sleep one is awesome, and I can give you a code for it.
Save you $5. All right, Mark, how about you, man? What's the recipe look like?
Well, I think Drew, kind of the overarching theme that he was getting at was self-care and making sure that you have and designate time for that self-care. For me, that could be, maybe self-care for me is hanging out with family, watching TV, or it might be working out, and it might vary from day to day. I mean, I have a pretty consistent schedule of workout days and what I'm doing during those days, and that's consistent, and that helps me maintain my physical health in that capacity. But I think carving out time for self-care is really what's the most important thing. And to Drew's point as well, that may look like a lot of different things, and again, day to day it may look different for me. But if I have time to do something that I want to do / something that I need to do for myself, that's going to ultimately help me be.
Yeah, I love it. One of the things that I think through as well too, and mine's fairly similar to Drew. If I get up early and I intentionally move, it's going to be a pretty good day. Typically before the kids and my wife are up. There can be days where I just need sleep and I can rest in, but there's just something about that intentionality that changes things. If I sleep in through my alarm, it's already started as a rough day, and it's really hard to recover on that and get it back. So I think the intentionality is big, kind of having a plan and again, for me, intentional movement. Some people are going to get that at different points in the day. I think that's huge. We know our bodies were made to do it. The other one for me was from a wellness standpoint. I think having a challenge to some degree. Like, I'm a real firm believer, we're made to do hard things. And so, do you have something into your day or your week that's challenging your body? The times when I've felt the worst, or when I've done the least, or when I've had just kind of the least, more tendency to coast to some degree. And so I think finding some different challenges are actually really good for us, and really have been an energizer for me. And so peering into the next question here, I would say for you guys, what's one of the 2 things that you have in your week that are going to energize you? We know not everything in your week's going to be an energizer, but you got to have some of it. So what are 1 to 2 things that you guys can throw into your week when you're needing an energy boost there? Mark, what do you think?
I mean, as much as sometimes I don't want to do it, working out is that thing. I feel sluggish. I feel just kind of gross, like, overall. if I don't do that. And that's because I've created a habit where it's something that I do consistently. And so that definitely, like I said, sometimes it is the worst thing just to get started into a workout. But once I do it, I feel accomplished. I feel energy as a result of it. That's the big thing for me, which shouldn't come as a surprise as a physical therapist. But I would say the other thing is, having a day where I just or an afternoon where I just hang out with my family and watch TV. Like, it's quality time. It's not all just brain rot watching something. Like, it's still engaging. I'm talking and we're hanging out, and that I think is the other thing. So it's kind of the two ends of the spectrum. One being really active, and the other is being less active but more socially involved with the people that are close to me in my life.
Yeah, it's great. And just to speak for Mark, that it's not that Mark is lazy about working out. He was a D1 athlete. He's done plenty of it in his life. So I can appreciate that. Drew, what do you think?
I think it somewhat depends on what area you're talking about. Like, I get energy from at work, from mentoring and working with people. I have 2 residents right now, and the time that I get to spend with them, going over cases, teaching and learning from them, that energizes me at work. Outside of that, it's similar to what Mark said, but I might be a little bit on the other end of the spectrum. So I also know my wife and I are opposites. When she needs, is overwhelmed, she wants to go and go read, take a bath, something like that. And for me, what gives me more energy is hanging out with friends, being with other people. And so I'll often do porch drinks, and right now we'll watch the World Cup with my buddies who live next door. And so it really doesn't matter how tired I am. That always seems to energize me, and being with others and having that time together is something that I do just personally to kind of recharge.
Yeah, I think that's such a good note that we all can learn from as well too. My wife and I are very similar to you and Mallory, Drew, in the sense that introverted, extroverted, and kind of how we unwind, how we unplug a little bit. So I think it is really important, especially as practitioners. You guys need to take care of a lot of people, and if we're not finding ways to take care of ourselves, it's going to be really hard to do so. But doing it wisely, and I think everybody's going to have a different recipe. We're always looking for the thing online that is going to fix everything, but knowing yourself is really important, and knowing the loved ones around you too. So good stuff. Take care of yourself. We'll see you soon, guys.